Well, and that's what this policy is. It is a what if. I mean, the president.
It's answering a whole lot of what if questions, and why do we have to do that?
The administration is saying that the what if is, if this country is attacked by someone who's in compliance with the NPT, even if we're attacked with biological or chemical weapons, that they would not use everything that we have in our arsenal that might be necessary in order to protect ourselves.
So just stopping for a minute. Let's do a what if, because that's apparently what this treaty is trying to define, these what ifs. So some country has maybe signed agreements that they're not going to develop biological weapons. They do that on the sly, hit our cities with biological weapons, and people are dying with some strange kinds of viruses or something running around. And we're losing a whole lot of population. And of course, we've taken I think we have a pledge that we're not developing biological weapons. So we can't respond with biological weapons somewhere, even though that may not be appropriate. So what are we supposed to do then? We've already guaranteed them that we're not going to use nuclear weapons. But the second thing was the idea that somehow we're going to move toward this world without nukes. And the way we're going to do it is to reduce not only our number of nuclear weapons, but reduce our development or deployment of nuclear weapons. So I'd like to just, I mean, it sounds so good on the surface, but let's just take this apart a little bit. Let's just say, you got America now, we have a bunch of nuclear weapons, and we just say, hey, if this is such a great idea, we're just going to get rid of all of our nukes, and we're not going to develop any, or we're going to get rid of a certain percentage of them, and we're not going to develop any new ones, which is what this treaty is supposed to do. And my question then is, how is this going to reduce the number of nuclear weapons in the world? First of all, think about there are 35 or more nations that depend on us to create this nuclear umbrella of protection. So they're not developing their own nukes because they know that the U.S. is going to protect them. So what are they going to do logically if that umbrella of protection of the U.S. having this overwhelming nuclear force, if we take that down, if you're one of those 35 nations, what are you going to be thinking?
It's a very good point, because those nations that depend upon us, who have not developed nuclear weapons, who believe that they're part of our nuclear umbrella, that they believe that we extend in cooperative understanding our deterrence for their benefit, if that deterrence is removed, then of course there is the prospect that these additional nations will feel the need to develop their own weapons.
So we're reducing weapons, but these other nations are going to want to increase. So that doesn't really compute with the logic of this thing.